Good morning, everyone, or afternoon or evening, like where Erica is at right now. We are back for our monthly series of introducing our affiliated partners with the Sea Turtle Rescue Alliance. My name is Mariana. I am the program manager here at Sea Turtle Rescue Alliance, and today we are not leaving the French Polynesia. We're just moving islands. So last month we had Tema no Temoana. They were based in Tahiti. And today we have Erica, who's going to talk a bit about where she's based at and what her center is doing over there. Good morning, Erica, or good evening, Erica. Erica Bonfanti is
Good
joining
morning,
us.
you.
And
Good morning, Mariana. Good morning, everyone. So my name is Erica, and I'm the manager of the Eco Center Bora Bora, which is based in Bora Bora, as the name said. So we are a turtle rehabilitation center that has been working since the year 2000, so quite a long time now. Our story started with a injured sea turtle that was brought to the hotel where we are based at. We are based at the Westin Bora Bora. So we decided to start this beautiful project, and little by little, mm, things start to develop a little bit more. So we created our very first veterinary area, and we were doing all the care over there. And little by little, we developed then a hospital. We also have a museum where we do all our awareness project. And we had to close to the public in the year 2000 because of COVID and because we started to do extensive renovation of all the hotel and also the rehabilitation center. And we officially reopened to the public in 2024, so last year. We rebranded as Eco Center Bora Bora because we decided to broaden our mission. So not only to take care of sea turtle, but also to take care of the whole marine environment of French Polynesia. So we also started a core restoration project that is developing around the resort for the moment, but we're also doing some awareness project all over the island of Bora Bora.
were you always based in the same resort that you are currently in, or had you started
Yes.
the,
Yes,
that?
so it was based in the exact same resort. It's just that it changed its name. Before it was called the Meridian, and now it's called the West in Bora Bora. But we have always been based here. Yeah.
And are you open to the general public or just to guests that are at the resort at the moment?
We are open to everybody. So, of course, for the guests that are staying at the resort, it is much easier because we are just here. But everybody can come and visit us. We just need a little bit of organization to organize the transfer. So, Bora Bora, there's the main island, and there is this ring of Motu, which are small islands that are in between the lagoon and the main island. So we are based on one of these motus, so you need to take a boat to come and see us.
Okay, thank you for explaining because I wasn't visualizing like how one island you would then move.
Unfortunately, when you live here, then you feel like everything is it's normal and everybody will understand. But then you realize if you have never visited the French Polynesia, it might be a little bit complicated to understand.
Yeah. So we've had a bit, probably you're dealing with the same species as the other centers, but can you explain a little bit about what species do you see the most over there to treat?
Sure. So we mainly work with green sea turtle and oxbill one, with the biggest percentage of green sea turtle that we take care of. So in more than 25 years, we rescue more than 750 sea turtle, and most of them were green with a smaller percentage of oxbill sea turtle. We also had five loggerhead sea turtle, and four of them were in the last 5 years, which is quite interesting. And we also had two olive ridley sea turtle, but again, they're very rare around French Polynesia. We know that they're visiting the waters of the
Mhm.
area, but probably because they stay more far from the coast, not easy to encounter them. And we know that here in French Polynesia, only the green sea turtle is nesting. There's have been one case of oxpear sea turtle nesting in French Polynesia, but only one. So it's very rare.
I mean,
We
maybe
also
you
do
are
some,
getting it. Maybe you're getting it
yes,
and you just don't
exactly.
know yet.
Exactly. That's the point. Sometimes we saw so many juveniles oxpear sea turtle around our waters or even arriving here at the rescue center. And our question is always where are they nesting because it shouldn't be so far away from us. But still, French Polynesia is so spread out, as my colleague mentioned before, that there's still so many things that we don't know about nesting ground around here, and we hope we can develop more and more our project to learn more about them.
When you're talking about the majority being greens, what life stage are they? Adults, juveniles, hatchlings?
So we mainly rescue juvenile green sea turtle. We sometimes we have some sub-adult or adults one. Unfortunately, 90% of the sea turtle that we rescue is because of poaching. So in French Polynesia, there was this tradition to consume sea turtle meat during specific celebration and rituals. Was done only by king and best warrior of the village. Of course, nowadays it's illegal. It goes through the black market, and there's a real business, especially unfortunately around Bora Bora and the island around Bora Bora. It is developed. So this is something that is still very common and that we witness in our daily life. Even when we speak with people, sometimes it's not that easy. And even when we go to schools, when we do our awareness project, it's kind of crazy to see that when you ask kids to draw the ocean, they draw the manta rays, the corals, the algae, and the fish, and then they draw themselves in the boat with their dad and mom, and then they draw the turtles inside the boat. And you're like, no, this is not the place where they are supposed to be. So you really understand how deep is for them to see as a source of food and not as something to protect. So it's much easier when we talk with younger generation, when we do our awareness project in school. More complicated when we need to face older people because they really feel, especially there's always this component of people coming from abroad and telling them what to do with their culture. So for us, it's very, very important to protect the culture. Is one of the most important part of our conservation efforts because really thinks that it needs to go together, culture and conservation. And we want to respect that, of course. So we are also developing multiple projects about that to better know the legends because most of the tradition were transmitted orally and not written. So it's important for us that we collect the right information and can we deliver our messages explaining them we are respecting the tradition, we know the tradition, and if we follow the tradition, it was a sacred animals that we need to respect and this shouldn't be a matter of a business.
Yeah, to be fair, in some places around the world, they have found a sort of balance between having some take by the indigenous people and having some being preserved and keeping the balance in that way. So it might be something that needs to be more looked into as we progress with having some of the sea turtle populations coming back and seeing if that's something that we can work together with the communities and find a middle ground. How many of these animals are you getting in general? How many cases are you seeing per year? Do you have like a rough estimate or does it vary a lot?
Yes, so it depends quite a lot depending on the year, but I would say on average 15 sea turtle per year. Um, Sometimes there are some years when, like 2 years ago, we had this huge problem with poaching again. So we got a call in the middle of the night because there was a poacher with 20 adult sea turtles. So we managed to intervene. In that case, we didn't bring them here to the center because luckily all of them were still alive and for sure they were quite weak, but not injured at all. So we managed to release them back to the wild. But admitted here, the center would say 15 per year. Yeah.
Well, but it is impressive if he managed to get 20 adult turtles in that night or that period of previous nights. That's still a lot of adults living in your area.
Yeah, so they are actually going on other islands around that are quite remote. And one of the island that poacher are visiting is one of the island where we conduct next inside survey.
Okay.
The island is called Mopelia. It's one of the most important nesting ground for green sea turtle in French Polynesia. So we started our survey in 2016 and because it is a remote island, it's kind of difficult to get there. So we go there by catamaran. It takes 24 hours of navigation. The team
Wow.
left today for our first mission of the season. So we spend there 10 days per month. We patrol the beach during daytime and nighttime, and we collect multiple information like curved carapace length. We take sample of skin for genetic studies. We apply some metal tag to identify them. And we also take identification picture that we analyze to
Photo
identify
ID.
the species.
So that's so remote that you can't really have a team base there in general to like a ranger.
Yeah, it's very complicated. Yeah, this is something that we were considering, but it's very complicated. You don't have reception on your phone. There's no electricity. There's only 5 people living there at the moment. There's no
Wow.
supermarket, no hospital, no nothing.
Wow.
So
Proper
we go there,
wild.
we plant flies. Yeah, it's an amazing place because of course it's untouched by human. Well, kind of, because of course on our nesting beach we found so much plastic, and it's crazy the amount of plastic that we found there. And sometimes we take the time to read the label to see where is it coming from, and sometimes it's from very far away. um, but yeah, it would be very complicated to install something that is full-time,
Yeah.
to have a full-time team there. Yeah.
Yeah. So now that you've moved into your new facility, and we're gonna see, because once we publish, we're gonna see all the tanks that we. Can you tell us a bit more like about how many turtles can you now take care at the same time in one at this? So how many tanks do you have? How many turtles can you house?
So as we need special authorization to have sea turtle here at the rescue centers, they are protected by law in French Polynesia. We have an authorization for a maximum of 10 sea turtle at the same time. So we have 10 tanks ready for them in case we have some lots of turtle arriving at the same time. So we also have an external lagoon that is 1,000 square meters in area, which is connected directly to the reef, so you always get fresh water. And the tanks receive salt water directly from the ocean. We have a sand filter, so a mechanical filtration before they arrive to the tank. And we have a system to switch the exit of the water. So whenever we need to disinfect it, we don't let the water go back to the ocean with products in it, but we can direct the water to the waste so we don't pollute the ocean. So we are very proud of that.
Yeah, that's really good. And it's very important, something that I think a lot of centers are not either able financially, or they haven't considered, is once you do treat the animals, how does that water returns to the ocean? Um, what are the most common injuries that you generally see there? So I said it's related to poaching, so I'm getting spear gun injuries is mostly what you
Yeah,
see, or
exactly. So it's mainly wounds by poachers. We also witness a lot of plastic ingestion. So even though sometimes it's not the first case of admission, then one of the things that we love to do the most is to check the first days when the turtles are at the center of the feces, so to check if there's any external object in it. And 70% of the sea turtle that we receive present some kind of plastic ingestion. Sometimes we also had boat strike. Unfortunately, the thing is that so Bora Bora, it's one of the most touristic island of French Polynesia. There's so many boats outside on the lagoon, and of course, most of them don't respect speed limits. So we get some cases of turtle with boat impact. Unfortunately, there's very few that survive because especially when they're juvenile, the impact is so strong that there's not that much that we can do. And we've set some fishing line entanglements, not that many, but sometimes it happens. So we always collect all the information that we can. Even this is what we tell to the people when we do our awareness project, when we explain them how to help us, is that even if the turtle is dead, we love to collect information on that. We perform autopsy to check if there is any external object inside, what's the cause of death, and we got some of them as well in the last few years. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. We all know the importance of these dead bodies, how much information it can actually provide. And I saw the photos where you have so many of those carapaces preserved, also the skeletons, to be able to educate people through it.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
definitely has a lot of power to save these animals, regardless of being alive or dead in this sense. How is the veterinary care managed at your center? Because you yourself are not a veterinarian, correct?
I'm a marine biologist, so we work closely with two different veterinarians. One is on the main island of Bora Bora. He has been working with the center since the very beginning, so is doing a great job. We also work sometimes with Cecile from Timano Timoana. So she already helped us with some cases. She is a very good help for the Eco Center. And we also work with another veterinarian in Tahiti who is specialized in reptiles. He has so many contacts and he keep on learning from outside to improve the care that we can do. So we have a very good team of veterinarians that support us. And then, of course, we love to learn from all other veterinarians worldwide. We have, especially for one case that we have at the moment at the center, I think we contact like at least 50 different veterinarians and even from STRA that help us so much to better understand what we can do to improve the health of the turtle.
Yeah, it is definitely challenging dealing with a species that we don't know much yet about as well, in physiologically how they respond to a lot of things. There's no many studies about medications, and so it's clinical experience from many different veterinarians is definitely always a good input to have a discussion going on, which is part of what STRA also wants, is to connect these kind of different teams and get a bit of the experience, because we're all so busy to publish things that it is good to have these meetings and being able to discuss what we've been seeing in practice. So being at the resort now, of course you have access to the vets, but like what facilities or equipment now do you have access to where you are in terms of microscope
So
or ultrasound, something
we
like
have a
that?
microscope, we have a wet table, so we can do all the cleaning of the wounds here. We have a sterilizer, so we can have all our equipment that is always sterilized. We have the microscope, we have a Doppler to take the heartbeat of the turtles. And it's mainly that this is what we use daily. And then whenever we need to do X-ray, so this was a big discussion, should we have one here? But then we are in a five-star resort, so we can have some issue with guests. So we decided to use the one of the veterinarian clinic on the main island. So sometimes we go there with the turtle when the turtle is small enough to transport her safely. And sometimes we already brought the X-ray here so we can perform the X-ray directly on site.
Oh, so it's a portable, you have access to a portable
Yeah,
X-ray as well.
yeah, a
That is very
portable one,
helpful.
yes.
Are you
Yeah,
able to do
it is.
the blood work then in-house if you have the microscope, or do you send it to the vet?
Yes, yes. We mainly send it to the vet. We are starting doing something here, at least
Mm,
hematocrit here. So
that's
uh,
good.
we can do both depending on the case and what we want to see for the turtle.
Perfect. So you already touched a little bit on this, but just so to summarize, does your center carry out any research aside from the rescue?
So yeah, so we do research on nesting ground. First of all, for green sea turtle, I was mentioning it. We started in 2016. Um, we are also collecting data with citizen science. So we launched this project this year, which is called Turtle Watcher, to start collecting information on how many sea turtle are visiting water around Bora Bora and collect information on their habitat, species distribution, their behavior. So it's something that is working quite well. People here, especially working in diving center or on the boat, love to help us and give us information. And yeah, this is mainly what we are doing for the moment. We want to develop some more project in terms of learning more about the feeding behavior, especially of the juvenile of green sea turtle, because this is something we are witnessing when we do autopsy. Sometimes we get so many information on what did they eat the turtle. Is there a kind of algae that they prefer rather than another? It's something we are working on.
A quick question, actually, this goes back to before, not even related right now, but with the olive ridleys that you said you received, were those entanglement injuries, or why did you see those olive ridleys around?
Yes, so one of them was an entanglement, and the other one arrived already dead, and we didn't manage to understand the cause of this death,
Hmm.
unfortunately.
I was just asking because we have so many entangled, obviously, in the Maldives. I'm
I could
always chasing
imagine.
up about what is the
I
species
was
doing
working for a
somewhere
while
else.
in the Maldives, and I remember it was crazy the amount of fishing nets that you find. Luckily here, we don't get that many problem. We don't get these huge fishing nets like you do in the Maldives. Uh, but sometimes we still have some. But it's
And
rare. I think it's rare compared to Maldives. Yeah.
yeah, it's a matter, I guess, geographically where you're located based on where all these fisheries exist as well. So to summarize, what would you say are then the main goals or objectives of Eco Center Bora Bora?
So the main objective of the Eco Center is to protect the marine environment of French Polynesia through different missions, so turtle rehabilitation, coral restoration, and awareness projects. So this is one of the most important part of our job. We really think that to change things and to change mind, we need to start first of all with young generation, but not only with that. So we have different awareness projects with the local excursion guide. They are the one that spend most of the time outside on the lagoon. They are our eyes. They are the one that can help us. We have a hotline that works 24/7. So we are available anytime, any day of the week to rescue an injured sea turtle. And of course, we also do awareness with different resorts here in Bora Bora. So 90% of the population of Bora Bora works in the resorts. So it's much easier to educate people if we intervene directly there. So we really want to change things by teaching them because sometimes it's crazy how little they know about sea turtle. They think that they know everything about them. And once you mention that there's only 1/1,000 that reach adulthood or that they reach sexual maturity very late in their life, they are kind of surprised and they better understand why we are doing that, why we want to protect them, and how fragile these animals are.
Yeah, I think it's that thing when you grow up always seeing these animals abundantly in the ocean, you just don't really understand their ecology or what actually might be happening to them around the world as well. And that happens across different species because we've had even issues in Africa of people not knowing, for example, that the rhinoceros is endangered because, oh yeah, it was always here. It's just not here anymore, but
Yeah.
it's somewhere else, I'm sure. And then you explain, actually, no, it's not somewhere else. And it's
Yeah,
that
you're mentioning that it's
education.
crazy. Yeah, it's crazy because sometimes when we speak with local people here, they're like, but I saw on the TV that in Costa Rica or in Australia, they're doing great. Exactly, they're doing great there, but here is not the case. So if we want to see something like that, we need to protect them more. We
Yeah.
need to do all together an effort to protect them because it's
Yeah.
not the same thing. And sometimes it's kind of tricky.
It's the understanding that needs to come first before any other action, isn't it? The
Yeah.
education. Could you briefly share, this is more personal, one of your most interesting, successful cases that you've had? It can be someone actually that eventually passed away, unfortunately, but that has taught you something that you still cherish today.
I think the one of the most interesting cases that we got was a Hope. So Hope is a sea turtle that was found entangled in a fishing line. So we had to amputate the frontal flipper because it was severely damaged, and it stayed with us quite a long time, few years. And we managed to release Hope back to the wild. So as we collect so many information on green sea turtle, because on female green sea turtle, because on nesting ground it's easy, they come ashore, you can take measurement and everything and you don't get that many information on mail, we decided to put a GPS on Hope to follow him. And we managed to follow him for 3 months. So we managed to travel more than 340 miles in only 3 months and without one of the frontal flipper. And it was a real success because at some point we were like, oh, probably we'll never be able to release this sea turtle back to the wild. And actually we did. And I love and we create a small video for our guests because I think it's a very beautiful example on how resilient these animals are and now sometimes when we receive them, you're like, we'll never manage to save them. And then it's crazy how, of course, we try to do our best to make them feel better as soon as possible. But I think a big part is how resilient these animals are, how they're able to recover, sometimes quicker than what we expect.
Yeah, if there's something reptiles teach you is that how resilient they are to kind
Mm.
of everything that you throw at them, which is even more concerning is how are they endangered once you know that they can resist so much. So then definitely the
Definitely.
pressure is a lot. But it is impressive. We've also had some olive ridleys amputated, released, and these are pelagic species, so they're not so coastal as the greens, right? And they would still travel miles and miles, even with the three flippers, go very deep. They are indeed like dinosaurs living, which is impressive.
Definitely, yeah, but it's crazy. It's crazy.
So maybe that was your favorite fact, but can you share a favorite fact about sea turtles or what drew you to work with sea turtles?
Sorry, you cut
Sorry,
the
I got
connection. I
cut.
didn't listen.
Yeah, sorry. I'm
Okay.
gonna say, do you have a favorite fact about sea turtles, or what drew you to work with sea turtles in the first place?
So I think that what drew me to work with sea turtle was my first experience with them. It was probably, you know, her Daniela Freggi. She's leading the rescue center in Lampedusa. I think it's one of the partner of STRA as well. So when I went there and I saw, so for me, it's a real example because this woman is so powerful and she has done so much in her life. And I was so moved about seeing that how deep she was linked with this animal and she was devoting her whole life to them. And how much she managed to accomplish even with very few resources because actually the rescue center in Lampedusa had so many issues, unfortunately, with that, and still she wasn't losing hope. She's doing every day more. She always pushing forward. So I think it's thanks to her that today I'm working with Siddhartha, and of course how beautiful these animals are. So one of my passion is also to paint marine life, and I think I painted well. Of course, most of my painting are sea turtle, and each time I paint them, I'm like so mesmerized to see how these kids are so perfect and nature has created something so marvelous, and I'm like, wow, they're amazing animals. I'm definitely in love with them.
For those of you who don't know, actually, Erica is Italian, even though she's all the way in
Yeah.
French Polynesia, and Daniela as well. So they
Yeah,
met
sorry,
there.
I forgot to mention that.
You're fine. You're fine. So to finish up, how can members of your local community, so not just the guests, but actually Polynesians, contribute to sea turtle conservation? What do you see them needing to do to help you out?
So, as I was telling you, we are available with our hotline to rescue the turtle and get information on them 24/7. But also with our citizen science project, it's mainly addressed to people living in Bora Bora. We also created easier Google form for guests because we know that they won't be so precise. But with local people, especially the one that come here and they do some trainings with us, are the first one that send us picture and contribute to understand, to better understand the population. Because without understanding them, we will never be able to fully conserve them. So it's important for us. And today, what we are witnessing is that we are missing so many information, some basic information throughout the closure when we were close to the public. I had so many people coming and see me, okay, we can come visit us. Where should I go in Bora Bora to see sea turtle? And I was like, good question, because there's no like spot where it's easier to see them. Well, unfortunately, there's the part of the fact that as they are so poached, sometimes it's difficult to see them because they are so scared of humans. This is crazy. Compared to Tahiti or Moorea, where the other center is based, here it's very, very difficult to encounter them because there's this habits of chasing them to poach them, unfortunately.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, where do you want to see them? Well, it's hard because whenever we see them, then people will also know that they're there, and they'll go there. So it becomes a bit of a tricky spot. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, Erica, for making the time tonight, on your side, to talk to us. It was lovely. I'm so excited to share also the pictures of your center with everyone today, because it looks incredible. And if anyone
Thank
is
you.
going to Bora Bora anytime soon, please do pay Erica a visit and all her turtles. Uh,
Yes, yes, and I hope you're going to come one day to visit us. It was
oh
such a
gosh,
pleasure to have you
yeah,
here.
yeah, I would love that too as well. You do have a website? No, you do have Instagram or Facebook.
We
Do
have
you
an
have a website?
Instagram page. It's called Eco Center Bora Bora, and a Facebook page. We don't have a website
Okay, so
yet.
do make sure to go see more about their work on their Instagram and Facebook channels. And this will be posted today. So hopefully we'll also reach out to more people about what you're doing over there. It is incredible to know, like obviously the two centers in French Polynesia and how you interact with each other and share the cases and the patients, because obviously we're all here for the same objective, the same goal for sea turtles. And if any of you would like to join Sea Turtle Rescue Alliance as an affiliated member, please do go on our website, seaturtlerescuealliance.org. And then under the membership area, you have the form that you can fill in. And the idea behind is that we are combining all these rescue centers into the same network so we can share clinical cases, have discussions, help each other out for the benefit of sea turtle conservation. So thank you for joining us. Thank you, Erica. Have a lovely day, everyone. See you soon. See you next
Thank
month.
you.
Bye.